Hare Krishna, welcome everyone to our Caitanya Caritāmrta overview class. We'll begin with our prayers. Om Ajnana-timirandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Caitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamsha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitamsha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namoste Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vansha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Namo Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Nitinamine Namaste Saraswati Devi Gaurvani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shanyavadi Paschatya Shatarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaur Bhaktivrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna. Welcome everyone. We are discussing from Sri Caitanya Caritāmrta and we are on 4th chapter, which is entitled The Confidential Reasons for Lord's Appearance. So in this chapter, Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami is giving the explanation of the 5th and the 6th verse of Ādī-Līlā, 1st chapter. So in this chapter, Kaviraj Goswami describes the external and the internal reasons of the descent of Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He has described the external reasons in great detail in the last chapter also. And in this chapter, he describes the two main internal reasons. Prem rasa nirayasa karite aswadan raga marga bhakti loke korite pracharan. Prem rasa nirayasa karite aswadan, to experience the love of God and to distribute Raga Marga Bhakti Loke Korite Pracharan, and to propagate this Raga Bhakti, not Vaidhi Sadhana Bhakti, because Krishna was thinking that the entire world is absorbed in awe and reverence. I am not pleased by that. I am pleased when my friends, they climb on my shoulder, when my mother takes care of me, when my gopis, they chastise me. I like that more. And then he described the reasons of appearance of Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu as a devotee. And he described how the love of Srimati Radharani, which is Parakiya, that is the topmost expression of love. And then he describes the position of Srimati Radharani, because Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he appeared in the mood of, in the complexion, carrying the complexion of Srimati Radharani. Because who is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu? Radha Krishna ekatma dui deha dhari anyonye bilasi rasa aswadana kori. Radha Krishna, they are two, they became, they are one, they became two. Say dui ekathai, again they became one. As Chaitanya Gosai, they became one as Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Rasa aswadita huila ekathai. So therefore, to describe the glories of Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Kaviraj Goswami is now describing the glories of Srimati Radharani, the highest position of Srimati Radharani. So we discussed yesterday till verse 72, where it is described how Srimati Radharani is the embodiment of the Chit Shakti the potency which gives happiness to Krishna. Ladini karaye Krishna ananda swadan, Ladini radware kore bhaktera poshan. So Ladini potency gives pleasure to Shri Krishna and nourishes the devotees. And who is this Ladini Shakti? Mahabhava Swarupa Shri Radha Thakurani, Sarvaguna Khani Krishna Kanta Shiromani. So embodiment of Mahabhav is Srimati Radharani, Sarvaguna Khani. And then the second part of this verse, the 69th verse, describes how Srimati Radharani is supreme among all the consorts of Krishna. Sarva Guna Khani. She is the repository of all the good qualities, and Krishna Kanta Shiromani. She is the supreme. She is the jewel among all the consorts of Sri Krishna. And then Kaviraj Goswami describes that actually there are unlimited consorts of Krishna even among the gopis. The two of these two gopis, that means Srimati Radharani and Chandravali, they are the foremost. But among these two also, Srimati Radharani's position is superior. She surpasses everyone in all the respects. In all the good qualities, she surpasses. So Kaviraj Goswami quotes a verse from Rupa Goswami's Ujjwal Neelmani, the 70th verse, where it is described that out of Chandravali and Srimati Radharani, Radharani is even superior. Krishna prema bhavit yat chittendriya kai, Krishna nij shakti radha kridar sahai. Krishna prema bhavit. This is called Krishna consciousness. Krishna prema bhavit. Chitta indriya kai. Mind, body and the words. Mind, senses and the body. Chitta, indriya and the kai and the body. Krishna bhavit, Krishna prema bhavit. So Srimati Radharani, her entire existence is Krishnamay. That's why she is called as Krishnamayi. And in some time we'll see how this verse will be described in great detail. Krishna Devi Krishnamayi Prokta Radhika Paradevata. So Krishna Prem Bhavit Yata Chittendriya Kai, Krishna Nij Shakti Radha Kridara Sahai. And who is Srimati Radharani? She is Krishna's own energy. And she helps Krishna in experiencing the joy and the bliss in all the pastimes. So Prabhupada writes in the purport that who is this Srimati Radharani? Just like Krishna is fully spiritual, Srimati Radharani is completely spiritual. No one should consider Radharani to be material. She is the personified Ladini Shakti. And therefore, because Krishna cannot enjoy anything which is material, therefore Srimati Radharani is the embodiment of all the spiritual potencies which give bliss to Krishna. Therefore, in relationship between Krishna and Srimati Radharani, there is no ordinary material lust. Bhagavatam describes in detail in the first canto, in the 10th chapter, it is described that when Krishna, he entered Dwarka, all the queens of Krishna, they were trying to attract him, attract his attention by their loving glances and furtive smiles, but nobody could disturb Krishna with their beauty. Krishna was not attracted by their beauty. Krishna was attracted by their devotion. Uddama bhava pishuna malaval guhasa vrida valokanhyato madano piyasam sammuhya chapamajahat pramadottamasta yasyendriye vimathitum kuhakai nasheku. So they were showing all their beauty, which can even bewilder the devatas. Uddama bhav pishunamal valguhasa. They were speaking beautiful, sweet words, but Krishna was not disturbed by that. So therefore, any reciprocation between Srimati Radharani and Krishna is completely spiritual, and we cannot understand with our material mind. How is it possible that when a male and female come together, there is no experience, no reciprocation of sexual activity? It is impossible to understand in our material conception of life. Therefore, to understand the pastimes of Radha and Krishna, we have to first get purified. So therefore, Kaviraj Goswami says, Srimati Radharani is the embodiment of Ladini potency, and she is the one who gives pleasure to Krishna. And he quotes this Brahma Samhita verse, Ananda Chinmaya Rasa Pratibhavitaabhi Tabhirya Eva Nijarupa Taya Kalabhi Golok Eva Nivasatya Kilatma Bhuto Govindamadi Purusham Tamham Bhajami. So that Akhilatma Bhuto, that Supreme Lord who is there in everyone's heart, he resides in his realm of Goloka. What is that Goloka? Ananda Chinmaya Rasa. The bliss is pervading all over Goloka. And from where this bliss is manifesting? From Srimati Radharani. That is the Ladini Shakti. And then Kaviraj Goswami describes that there are various potencies, various consorts of Krishna. There are three types of Krishna's consorts: Lakshmi Gan, Mahishi Gan, and Braj Devi Gan or Gopi Gan. So he describes now how Krishna consorts with all these different types of Shaktis. And what are these Shaktis in relationship with Srimati Radharani? So Lakshmi Gan, Mahishi Gan, and Brajangana Gan, Braj Devi Gan. And then Kaviraj Goswami says, Shri Radhika, she is the source of all these consorts. Shri Radhika Haite Kanta Ganera Vistar. All the Kanta, all the consorts of Krishna, they come from Srimati Radharani. She is the source. Just like Krishna is the source of all the expansions, Ishvara Parama Krishna, and he is a source. Similarly, and Kaviraj Goswami has described earlier also, that Krishna has Vaibhav Prakash expansions and Prabhav Prakash expansions, or Vaibhav Vilas or Prakash. Similarly, Srimati Radharani also has Vaibhav Vilas expansions and Vaibhav Prakash expansions. So, Vaibhav Vilas, what is this Vaibhav Vilas? Lakshmi Gana. All the queens, all the Lakshmis, they are Vaibhava Vilas Amsha Rupa. They are the partial manifestations of Krishna, Srimati Radharani's potency. Vaibhava Vilas Amsha Rupa. They are the partial manifestations of Srimati Radharani's potency. And who are the Mahishi Gana, the queens of Krishna? They are Vaibhava Prakash Swarupa. These queens, they are like the reflections of the image of Srimati Radharani, Pratibimba Rupa. And all the Braj Devis, they are manifesting from Srimati Radharani's personal bodily features. They are having, although they are having different features, but they are all expansions of Srimati Radharani herself. Bahu kanta bina nahe rasera ullas, Līlā rasa hai hoye bahuta prakash. Why all these wonderful manifestations of these consorts? Līlā sahai. Bahu kanta vina nahe rasera ullas. Because without these consorts, there is no experience of rasa. Līlā sahai. Just to assist Krishna in his pastimes, all these queens and the gopis and Lakshmis, they are coming. And among the various groups of the consorts in Braja, तार मध्य ब्रजे नाना भावरस भेदे Krishna ke karaye ras sadik lila swade. And among all these consorts, the Braj gopis, they experience varieties of mellows and sentiments which help Krishna give which help to give which give Krishna all the happiness. They help Krishna taste all the mellows. So that's why all these gopis are manifesting, all the Lakshmis are manifesting, all the queens are manifesting. And then in the 82nd verse, another important verse, Kaviraj Goswami is giving the essence and the summary of everything, whatever he has said so far. Govinda Nandini Radha, Govinda Mohini, Govinda Sarvasva Sarvakanta Shiromani, Govinda Anandini Radha. Srimati Radharani is the one who gives pleasure to Krishna. Govinda Mohini, she is the one who attracts Krishna. Govinda Sarvasva, her entire, she is the be-all, Prabhupada writes, she is a be-all and end-all of Govinda. She is a Govinda Sarvasva. She is everything for Krishna. Sarvakanta Shiromani, and she is a jewel among all the consorts. So that is the supreme position of Srimati Radharani. One of the very great devotees, he wrote a book on Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's glories, and he gave a wonderful analogy. Why Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came in the mood of Srimati Radharani. He said, just like Krishna was thinking that I have stolen so many things of Srimati Radharani, but now I will steal the mood and complexion of Srimati Radharani. But just like a thief, after he does some stealing, he likes to hide in a dark place. So which is the darkest place? That is Kali Yuga. So after stealing the complexion and the mood of Srimati Radharani, Krishna, he has come to hide in the darkest age of Kali Yuga. But then, you know what happened? After he came to hide here, people started doubting. So what happens when the thief becomes fearful of getting recognized? He starts distributing what he has brought so that nobody doubts him. So Krishna came with the mood of Srimati Radharani, with the love of Srimati Radharani. So being afraid of being interrogated, he started distributing. Caitanya avatare vahe premamrita banya sabajiva preme bhase prithvi hoila dhanya. Ye banya jena bhase sei jiva char koti janme kabhutar nahi kanistar. He started distributing this love. But then he was caught, and it required a very, very powerful police. So when Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was in Gambhira, he was constantly associating with Ramananda Rai and Swarup Damodar Goswami. And when, just like when thief is interrogated, he then speaks everything. He speaks his heart. So when Ramananda Rai and Swarup Damodar Goswami, they started, giving all the wonderful experiences of reciting verses and songs, then the heart of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came in the form of the 8 verses of Sikshashtakam. So that is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has appeared to give what is not offered so far. And we discussed yesterday also that Bhagavatam also doesn't mention the name of Srimati Radharani directly. So therefore, for Radharani, Krishna is the whole and soul. Govinda Sarvasva, and for Krishna, Radharani is everything. She is the one who knows how to satisfy Krishna, how to give pleasure to Krishna. She's she's the only one who can attract Krishna. Govinda Mohini. And because devotional service, she is the embodiment of devotion. So therefore, devotional service can only attract Krishna. Otherwise, nothing can attract Krishna's attention. Krishna is not pleased by our wealth, wisdom, scholarship, beauty, strength. Krishna is not attracted by any of this. Nalam dujatvam devatvam rishitvam va asuratmaja Trinanaya mukundasya na vrittam na bahugyata na danam na tapo nechya na shaucham na vratani cha Priyate amalaya bhaktya hari anyad vidambanam. So Prahlad Maharaj is telling to his friends, oh my friends, please worship Lord Vishnu. Nothing can attract Lord Vishnu other than devotion. Even if you are born in a Brahmana family, Dvijatvam, Devatvam, even if you are a Devata, Nalam Dvijatvam, Devatvam, Rishitvam, even if you are a great sage, you cannot attract Krishna's attention. Na vrittam, not by getting all the money. Na bahugyata, not by knowledge. Na danam, not by charity, not by tapasya, not by worship. Then how to attract Krishna? Priyate amalaya bhaktya. Only by unalloyed devotion, Krishna is attracted. And then Kaviraj Goswami describes this verse from Brihad Gautamiya Tantra. Devi Krishnamayi Prokta Radhika Paradevata Sarva Lakshmi Mayi Sarva Kanti Sammohini Para. So Srimati Radharani, she is a transcendental goddess and she is Krishna's direct counterpart. Paradevata. She is Krishnamayi and she is Paradevata. Sarva Lakshmi Mayi. She is the central figure of all the goddesses of fortune. Sarva Kanti Sammohini Para. And she is the one who can attract the all attractive Krishna. And she is the primeval internal potency. So then from 84 to 95 verses, Kaviraj Goswami describes in detail what this verse means. Every word has a meaning. So he tells, what is the meaning of Devi? Devi means one who is resplendent and beautiful. There is no one more beautiful than Srimati Radharani. Devi. And another meaning of Devi is she is the abode of the worship of Krishna. So the most beautiful women of this world is nothing in compared with the heavenly damsels. The Vaikuntha ladies, the Lakshmis, their beauty is unlimited, and the beauty of heavenly damsels is nothing in compared to Lakshmis. The beauty of Lakshmis is nothing in compared to the beauty of the gopis of Goloka Vrindavan. And among all the gopis, Srimati Radharani is the most beautiful. She is resplendent, effulgent, Devi. Krishnamayi. So Krishnamayi, it has two meanings. Krishnamayi means one who's within and without. That is Krishna. Within Krishna and outside Krishna. Wherever she sees, she is seeing only Krishna. That's what bewildered Uddhava. When he went to Vrindavan, he saw that the love which these gopis have, I have nothing. When he saw how Radharani was mad in love for Krishna, he desired to become a Gulmalata. One who sees Krishna everywhere. Asamaho charana renu jushamaham syam Vrindavane kimapi gulmalataushadhinam Yadustyajam swajanamārya patham chahitva Bhejo mukunda padavim shrutimrigyameva. That's why he desired to become a creeper in Vrindavan so that he can get the dust of the feet of these gopis headed by Srimati Radharani. Because she is Lakshna, Krishna Mai. Wherever she sees, she sees only Krishna. Another reason, another meaning of Krishna is she is identical with Krishna. You cannot separate Krishna and Srimati Radharani. They are one. And she is the embodiment of Prem Ras. And then Radhika. What is the meaning of Radhika? So Radhika comes from the word Radha. Radha, and Radha comes from the word Aradhana. Aradhana means worship. Her worship consists of fulfilling the desires of Krishna. That is the only purpose of existence of Srimati Radharani, to fulfill the desire of Krishna. Therefore, Puranas, they call her as Radhika. That's what Shukdev Goswami also says. Anayaradhito nunam bhagavan haririshwaraha yanno vihaya govinda pritoyam manayadraha. Anayaradhito nunam. This gopi has perfectly worshipped Krishna. That's why Krishna left all the gopis, yanno vihaya govinda, and he has gone with this gopi. Pritoyam anayadraha. So Srimati Radharani is the supreme abode of worship and service to Krishna. Her existence is for Krishna's service. And Prabhupada writes that she is the personality who excels everyone else in worshipping Krishna. There is no one who can tell that I serve Krishna more than Srimati Radharani. Although she never feels like that. We'll see this mood of Srimati Radharani also. So she is Radhika, and then she is Paradevata. What's the meaning of Paradevata? Three meanings is described. First, she is a supreme goddess. She is worshipable for everyone. She is a Paradevata, Param Devata. She is worshipable for everyone. Secondly, she is the protectress of all. Prabhupada writes, protectress. She is a protectress. She is the one who protects the devotees. And this is the quality which is our hope. She is the one who protects all the devotees. All our desires to serve Krishna is protected by Srimati Radharani. Our consciousness to serve Krishna is protected by Srimati Radharani. Therefore, Srimati Radharani, if we are accessing the mercy of Srimati Radharani, then our desire will be maintained. Then we'll be conscious of serving Krishna. And therefore, the third meaning of Paradevata is she's the mother of the universe. Just like the child, when he needs something, goes to mother most of the times. So she is the mother of the entire universe, who can bring the small child to the father. And whenever a child needs something, they generally go to mothers. And then mother tells the father. That's why now we are here in this material world. Since millions of lifetimes, we are trying to enjoy. And now we have realized that I cannot enjoy on my own. It is not in my power. This world is not for me. And then somehow Krishna bhuliya jiva bhogvancha kare nikatastha mayatare chapatiya dhare, and we came under the clutches of material illusion, trying to enjoy, and somehow by the mercy of Krishna and mercy of the devotees and Srimati Radharani, we have understood that this place is not for me. And now we are making appeal to Srimati Radharani. And Srimati Radharani is the one who can protect our consciousness, because she is the mother. Andhasya merita viveka mahadhanasya chaurai prabho balibhirindriya namadheyah मोहान्धकूपकुहरे विनिपातितस्य देवेश देहि कृपणस्य करावलम्बम्. So therefore the devotee, he's praying, oh my Lord, I am fallen in this deep dark well of material existence, please save me. In this deep dark well which is full of snakes. What are these snakes? These snakes are my lusty desires, the desire to enjoy in this world. That is biting me again and again. Please throw me that rope of devotion so that I can come out of this material existence. And that rope of devotion is the person. Srimati Radharani is the personification of the rope of devotion. She is the mother who feels for her children. Anyone who takes just one step towards her, to assist her in serving Krishna, she becomes so merciful. Manasi jafane jushte labda patosmi dushte timir gahana rupe hanta sansara kupe ajita nikhil raksha hetu sansara daksha upanaya mama haste bhakti rajju namaste. So in this verse, it is described that we are being bitten by the snake which is born of our desires, born of our mind, that is the desires. Manasi ja, that which is born of the mind. Fani jushte, the snake which is born of our mind. Labda patosmi dushte, and because we are being bitten by this snake of desire, we have fallen in this material existence. And what is this material existence? Timir gahana rupe. Timir gahan, intense darkness, where there is no light of devotion, only sense gratification. Hanta sansara kupe, but oh my Lord, you are Ajita. You are unconquerable one. You can protect your devotees in all circumstances. You are expert in protecting. Ajita nikhil raksha, hetu sansara daksha. Therefore, please give in my hand the rope of devotion. Ajita nikhil raksha, hetu sansara daksha, upanaya mam haste, bhakti rajju namaste. Please give me the rope of devotion, bhakti rajju. So Srimati Radharani, she is the Para Devata. She is the protectress of all, and she is the mother of entire universe. Sarva Lakshmi Mai. Sarva Lakshmi. She is the original source of all the goddesses of fortune. She represents the 6 opulences of Krishna. Aishwaryasya, Samagrasya, Viryasya, Yasha, Shriya, Gyan, Vairagya. Srimati Radharani is the source of all these opulences of Krishna. And therefore she is a supreme energy. Sarva Lakshmi Mai. Sarva Kanti. What's the meaning of Sarva Kanti? Sarva Kanti means whatever beauty we see in this world, everything is manifesting from Srimati Radharani. All beauty, all luster manifests from Srimati Radharani. All the Lakshmis, they derive their beauty from her. Whatever beauty we see in this material world and in the spiritual world, everything is coming from Srimati Radharani. If we don't take shelter of the spiritual beauty of Srimati Radharani, then we will be attracted by the material beauty of this world. And how to get attracted by spiritual beauty? By hearing the beautiful descriptions of the pastimes of Krishna. The process, beautiful process of devotional service. That is the beauty of Srimati Radharani manifesting in this world. You know, that is what is described. If we don't hear the Hari Katha, our heart will not be purified. Yasya kilami vahabi sumangalai vacho vimishra gunakarma janmabhi Prananti Shumbhanti Punanti Vaijagat Yastad Virakta Shavashobha Namati. All the sins are purified when we hear about Hare Krishna. That is the only thing which animates, enlivens, and purifies the world. And Srimati Radharani is the source of all the beauty. All desires of Krishna, they are resting in her. They rest in Srimati Radharani. And Srimati Radharani is the one who fulfills the desires of Krishna. And therefore she is Sammohini Para. She is the one who attracts Krishna. Krishna enchants the entire world and Radharani enchants Krishna. So therefore she is a supreme goddess. And then Kaviraj Goswami describes how Radha and Krishna, they are one. Radha Purna Shakti, Krishna Purna Shakti Man. Dui Vastu Bhedanai Shastra Paraman. Radha Purna Shakti. Radharani, she is the full power. And Krishna is Sarva Shaktiman. He is the all powerful. There is no difference between the power and the potent. And the potent, yes. All the scriptures, they tell this. What is the example? He gives two examples. Mrigmad Taragandha Ichayan Vichede Agni Jwala Te Kabhu Nai Bhede. Just like you cannot separate the musk and the deer, they are one. If the deer is there, the musk and the scent, sorry. Mrig Mad Tar Gandha. You cannot separate the scent from musk. They are inseparable. If the musk is there, scent has to be there. Agni Jwalate Aiche Kabhu Nahi Bhede. You cannot separate heat from fire. Fire is there, heat has to be there. Similarly, Radha Krishna Aiche Sada Ekai Swarup Leela Ras Aswadite Dhare Dui Roop. So Radha Krishna, similarly, they are Ekaswarup, they are one. But just to experience the mellows of devotion, they have become two. And to express and propagate that love of Radha and Krishna, Krishna has come, both have come as Sri Caitanya Mahaprabhu. So Kaviraj Goswami ends this explanation by telling that, okay, I have explained the meaning of the 5th verse now. And now in the next section, he is going to describe the 6th verse. And he tells that first I'll just give the hint of the 6th verse meaning, and then I'll describe in detail. So Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he came to spread this Sankirtan movement. That is the external purpose. In the 3rd chapter, he has already described that, the external purpose. Anarpita charim chirat karunaya vatirna kalau samarpaitum unnat ujjwal rasam swabhakti shriyam. He came to give what was not offered so far. That is the love of God, to spread the Sankirtan movement. Avatare rar ek ache mukhya bij rasika shekhara krishna rasei karya nij. But that was external. Krishna is Rasika Shekhar. He is the foremost enjoyer of all the loving exchanges. Rasika Shekhara Krishna. He is the foremost enjoyer of all the rasas. And there is one more reason, that is the internal reason for the appearance of Lord Krishna as Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And this confidential reason is threefold. There are 3 reasons in one. And who has revealed it? Swarup Damodar Goswami. Who is Swarup Damodar Goswami? He is a most intimate associate of the Lord. And therefore he knows the topics very well. And Prabhupada, he describes in great detail who was Swarup Damodar Goswami. So Swarup Damodar Goswami, because Kaviraj Goswami offers obeisances to Swarup Damodar Goswami many times. चैतन्य लीला रत्न सार स्वरूपेर भंडार तेहो ठुइला रघुनाथेर कंठे जहाँ किच्छु वे सुनिलु तहा इहा विस्तारिलु भक्तगण दिलु एई भेंटे. So in the Madhya Leela, Kaviraj Goswami tells, Chaitanya Leela is Ratnasar. It is a mine of jewels. And whose property it was? Swarupera Bhandar. It was the property of Swarup Damodar Goswami. Because he was the one who would write all the pastimes. He would make notes. So making notes is not just a recent phenomena. It is coming on since generations. Swarup Damodar Goswami would write Kadcha Anusare. He would write in his diary, Teho Thoila Raghunath Thera Kante, and Swarup Damodar was the one who told everything to Raghunath Das Goswami. And Raghunath Das Goswami made notes. Taha kichu ve shinilu, taha iha vistarilu. And when Raghunath Das Goswami, he was feeling intense separation from Chaitanya Mahaprabhu because Chaitanya Mahaprabhu departed. And Mahaprabhu came in the dream of Raghunath and told, you go to Vrindavan. So Raghunath Das Goswami, he went to Vrindavan, and every day on the bank of Radha Kund, he would sit and he would speak Chaitanya Leela. Teho Thoila Raghunath Thera Kanthe. And whatever he was speaking, Taha Kichu ve Shunilu, Taha Iha Vistarilu. Whatever I heard from Raghunath Das Goswami, that is what I am elaborating here. That is a gift I am giving to devotees. To speak Hari Katha, to speak Chaitanya Leela, it is a gift which is given to all the devotees by Kaviraj Goswami. The topics of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, which are so pure. Chaitanya Leela Amritasar Tar Shat Shat Dhar Dashadike Bahe Yaha Hoite Sai Chaitanya Leela Hoye Sarovar Akshay Mano Hamsa Chara Tahate. Krishna Leela Amritsar. Krishna Leela is like a reservoir of nectar, and hundreds of branches are flowing in all the 10 directions. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's pastimes, it is like inexhaustible reservoir of water, of nectar. So devotees should engage their mind. Mano hams charaha tahate. Just like the swans they like to taste the lotus. So our mind, make our mind as swans and try to relish these pastimes. Even if you don't understand, even if it looks completely beyond us or boring, still keep on hearing. Iba nahi bujhe ke ha shunite shunite seha ki adbhuta chaitanya charita Krishna upajibe priti jani be rasera riti shunile bada hoye hita. Even if you don't understand anything, ye baat nahi bujhe, kuch samajh nahi raha hai, still keep hearing again and again. Shunite shunite seha ki adbhuta chaitanya charita Krishna upajibe priti. You will develop love for Krishna. You will develop the knowledge of rasas. सुनी ले बड़ा होए हित, आपके हित के लिए है, सुनो. That's what Kaviraj Goswami is telling. So Swarup Damodar Goswami, he was a Brahmana from Navadvip. His name was Purushottam Bhattacharya, and he wanted to take renounced order of life. So he went to Banaras, Varanasi, and there he took initiation from Shankara Sampradaya as a brahmachari, and he got his name Swarup Damodar, Sri Damodar Swarup. Because we had heard in the last classes that there are various types of initiation. There are 10 sampradayas, 10 classes of Shankara Sampradaya, and every class has a brahmachari name and sannyas name. So Swarup is a brahmachari name. So this Purushottam Bhattacharya, he got his name as Sri Damodar Swarupa. And actually he had come to take sannyas, but he left Banaras without taking sannyas. He went to Jagannath Puri and he met Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and he started serving Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He became the secretary and the most intimate associates of Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. When he was not even sannyasi. And when Mahaprabhu took sannyas, he felt so disgusted, so sad. Out of frustration, he went again to Banaras and took sannyas. He could not bear the separation. He could not bear seeing Chaitanya Mahaprabhu as a renunciant. He was so very attached to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And Prabhupada writes that this Swarup Damodar Goswami, he has been identified as Lalita Devi. And then he tells that according to Gaur Ganodesh Deepika, he is Vishakha Sakhi. So Prabhupada is writing both. Lalita Devi also, Vishakha Devi also. But generally we know that Ramananda Rai is the expansion of Lalita Devi and Swarup Damodar Goswami is the expansion of Vishakha Devi. So in the Ādī-Līlā, the glories of Swarup Damodar Goswami are described. Parama Virakta Teho, Parama Pandit, Kaye Mane Ashriya Che Shri Krishna Charit. Parama Virakta, he was a very renounced person. Parama Pandit at the same time very scholar. Kaye Mano Ashriya Che. Her mind, his mind, his body was completely absorbed in Shri Krishna Charit. Why he took sannyas? Nischinta Krishna bhajivo eito karane unmad korilate ho sannyasa grahane. This is the only reason for which one should take sannyas. Otherwise, nobody should take sannyas. Why I am taking the renounced order of life? Nischinta Krishna bhajivo. I don't want any of the material impediments. Nischinta Krishna bhajivo eito karane. Sannyas unmad korila teho sannyas. Out of madness he took sannyas. He became so mad when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu took sannyas that he went and he took sannyas. Pandityera avadhiya vakya nahi karo sane sakshat nirjana rahe. Pandityera avadhi. He was the epitome of scholarship. And he would stay alone. He would not stay with people in general. And nirjana rahe. Lok sab nahi. Nobody would understand where is Swarup Damodar Goswami. Krishna rasa tattva vetta deha prema roop. Mahaprabhur se sakshat Mahaprabhur dvitiya swarup. Krishna prema tattva vetta. He was the knower of Krishna Prem Tattva. Actually, he was the Swarup of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He was the exact manifestation of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's love. That's what another verse it is described. Priya Swarupe, Daita Swarupe, Prema Swarupe, Sahajabhirupe. Nijanu rupe, Prabhureka rupe, Tatana rupe, Swavilasa rupe. So this is about Rupa Goswami. Rupa Goswami, he was very, very dear to Swarupa, Priya Swarupe. Swarupa Goswami loved Rupa Goswami very much. Sangite Gandharva Sam Shastre Brihaspati Damodar Samara Nahi Mahamati. And he was such a beautiful singer. Sangite Gandharva Sam. And he would sing, it was like nectar coming out of his throat. Shastre Brihaspati. Such combination was unimaginable. Beauty, beautiful voice, and scholarship. Damodar Samar Nahi Mahamati. There was nobody as intelligent as Damodar Goswami. So therefore, whenever somebody would come to present some of their compositions, first they had to go through Swarup Damodar Goswami's uh, scrutiny. Anything anybody would compose, any poem or any novel, they would first take it to Swarup Damodar Goswami, and then Swarup Damodar Goswami would see if it is bona fide, authentic, and then if he says, okay, it is nice, you can show to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, then it would go to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So that was Swarup Damodar Goswami. And then Kaviraj Goswami starts the description of the madness of the love of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Radhikar bhava murti prabhurantar sei bhave sukha dukkha uthe nirantar. Who is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu? The heart of Lord Chaitanya is the image of Srimati Radharani. Radhikar bhava murti prabhur antar. So Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's heart is the image of Radharani's emotions. And therefore, constantly, sometimes happiness, sometimes distress, all these various emotions, they keep coming. It's just like the waves. Uthe nirantar. And Prabhupada, he brings us to the ground reality. Because hearing all this, Radharani's love, you may be thinking, Arey Bapre, so high. Prabhupada brings us to the ground reality. He says, one who engages in sense gratification, they can hardly experience Radha Bhav. So if we want to experience the happiness of bhakti, we have to first become free from the desire for sense gratification. The desire may come, we should not contemplate on those desires. Just like the rivers enter the ocean, ocean remains undisturbed. Desires will enter our mind. But we should remain undisturbed because of those desires. How it will be possible? If we are so much absorbed in Krishna Katha, Krishna Kirtan, and we are experiencing the happiness, then we will not be disturbed by sense gratification. So in one of the purports in Srimad Bhagavatam, Prabhupada writes that if we want to experience the love, we have to be, ultimately says, we have to be regulated in our eating, sleeping, mating, and defending. So one who is not regulated in his sense gratification, they can never experience Krishna. Only a person who is free from the demands of the senses can experience a joy of devotion, Radha Bhava. And therefore Prabhupada writes, Radha Bhava must be understood from the Goswamis of Vrindavan, who are completely detached. Although they were manjaris from spiritual world, but they were establishing such highest levels of detached life. They would sleep under different tree every night. They were chanting and counting the holy names. Nidra, Har, Vihar, Ādī Vijitau. So Prabhupada writes, the transcendental loving affairs, they are on two levels. Elevated and super elevated. Prabhupada uses this word super many times. Elevated and super elevated. Because many of the Sanskrit words, they cannot be translated into English. So Prabhupada had to manufacture new words so that they can have some comparison with the spiritual emotions. So he says, elevated affair is seen in Dwarka and Vaikuntha, and the super elevated transcendental loving affairs are manifested in Braja only. And he says that attitude of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is therefore super elevated because he was always absorbed in Gopi Bhava. So just like no one can understand Krishna unless he is pure, Similarly, no one can understand the pastimes of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu who is not pure in his intentions. Our intentions should be pure. We may not act on pure level always, but our intention should be to become pure. If our intentions are wrong, then it is very difficult to experience the mercy of Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Chaitanya Charita Shunna Shraddha Bhakti Kari Matsarya Chadiya Mukhe Bolo Hari Hari. If we hear the pastimes of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu with faith, giving up all envy, then we can experience the mercy. So Prabhupada writes, unless one understands this mood of Vipralamba and Sambhoga, it is very difficult to understand what Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was experiencing. Otherwise, that person, if he just imitates the Lord, he will become a Sahajiya. It's like in the last class we were discussing, there was a group of Sahajiya called Gaur Nagaris. They were thinking, oh, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is the Supreme Lord and we are the gopis. That is not the right mood. So Kaviraj Goswami says that in the final portion of his pastimes, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was so obsessed with the emotions of Srimati Radharani that he would talk in a mad way, erroneous way. Sometimes, he would talk in a delirious way. Nobody would understand what he's doing. And many of the scholars of the current times, they think that, oh, this Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he was a mad person. Prabhupada writes, some materialistic scholars, they think that he was diseased or crazy. But anyone who is, himself materially afflicted, they can never understand these transcendental emotions. So, His Holiness Radhanath Swami Maharaj was telling that once he met a PhD scholar and he had done his PhD in Chaitanya Caritāmrta. Not a devotee, outsider. But as he was talking with Maharaj, he was drinking and smoking. So if somebody is not pure in his habits, he can never understand what is this tattva of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Because one who engages in sense gratification, they can never develop attraction for Krishna. Bhoga Ishwarya Prasaktanam Taya Paritachetasam Vyavasayatmika Buddhi Samadho Na Vidhiyate. They will never develop the determination to practice Krishna consciousness. So therefore, if we meditate on sense objects, then our mind gets attracted and attached to it. And they kidnap, they abduct our intelligence, and then they ask for the ransom. What is that ransom? Indulge, enjoy. So Prabhupada writes, the Lord is understood only by one who is free from the desire of sense gratification, just like the Goswamis of Vrindavan. Radhikara bhava iche uddhava darshane sei bhave matta prabhu rahe ratri dine. When Uddhava, he went to Vrindavan, he saw what was the state of Srimati Radharani. She was completely mad in remembrance of Krishna. She was talking to the bees and she was talking to the trees and the creepers and the birds of Vrindavan. Mahaprabhu was in the same mood when he was in Gambhira. At night, he would sometimes talk incoherently, sometimes he would cry, sometimes he would embrace Swarup Damodar Goswami and he would keep crying. That was the mood of Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And Swarup Damodar Goswami, he was the constant companion of Mahaprabhu. Whenever Mahaprabhu would experience certain emotions, Swarup Damodar Goswami would speak some of the verses from Bhagavatam or some of the poetry of Chandidas or Jayadev Goswami, and he would pacify Mahaprabhu. And then after describing all this, Kaviraj Goswami says, well, to explain all this is not necessary now. I will describe this later in detail. So that is the mood of Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. his mood of madness in love for Krishna. So we'll stop here. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna. Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Shri Caitanya Caritāmrta ki jai. Anybody has any questions?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Yeah, Hare Krishna.
For Radhika, you said some meaning, no, Prabhuji? What is that? The
Yeah.
word Radhika.
Radhika means one who worships Krishna to fulfill his desires.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
That's the meaning of Srimati Radharani. And the verse from Bhagavatam, Anaya Radhito Nunam Bhagavan Haririshwaraha Yanno Vihaya Govinda Pritoyam Anayadraha. So that Gopi who has worshipped Krishna perfectly, that is Srimati Radharani. So she knows how to fulfill the desires of Krishna. That is the meaning of Radhika. Okay.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna.
Any other questions? Okay, so we'll stop here. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.